Okay, David, so here's how you can make a Google form to get information from your students that they've kind of reflected on the free response and that they've graded themselves. So this is my ESC Google account, but you've got your Marymount Google account, so it's going to work the same way. In the upper right-hand corner next to your picture, there's that small kind of a waffle board or like a 9 dots or the Google Apps icon. Click on that. And somewhere in here, you might need to scroll down. So for example, I need to scroll down. But what I'm looking for is this purplish icon. That purplish icon is the forms. If you have that purple icon, just click on that icon. If you don't have the purple icon, you can just go up here in the search engine or in the URL and type in forms.google.com. Either way, it's going to work the same way. Either way, whether you click on that purple icon or if you type in forms.google.com, you're going to end up at something that looks like this. You have just your forms that you've created and only your forms. You may not have any there, and that's okay. But we're going to create a new form. So the first thing I want you to do is click on that little colorful plus sign to create a blank form. There are also ones that are here that we could use, but this will work out just fine for right now. And I'm going to give this name I'm going to call this my FRQ check-in. And then if I click up there in the Untitled in the upper left-hand corner, it will also name it that for me as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some questions. So the first question I want to ask is, maybe I should say, what is your name? And it's a short answer question. These are all my answer choices, like my question choices. It's just going to be short answer because that's all it's going to take. All right. And then I want to add another question after that. Before I go on, if you want to require this question, and maybe you want to require it, turn that on. That way they can't go on to the next question until they actually do this. Click on the plus sign to add another question. And maybe this one is going to be, what was your, or how did you score yourself, I guess? How did you score yourself? And it might not be bad to have a linear scale because they're going to score themselves with a 1 through 5. You could also change that back to a short answer, and they'll put a number in there, and that's okay. And again, let's go ahead and require this question. Click on a plus sign. Let's add another question. What was the hardest thing about this FRQ? Maybe leave that as a paragraph option, a long answer text. And again, we want to require it. Maybe add something next that says, what do I still need to work on? And maybe you want to change that to paragraph. It kind of suggests, it kind of understands, this is probably going to be a paragraph thing. And again, make that required. So this is pretty good. This is really all I need to do. If you want to see what it looks like from a student point of view, click up there in the little eyeball. And this is what the student would see. The student would see this. Now, if you want to go back to editing, you can just click down here in the pencil, and it will take me back to editing the form. A couple of things you want to make sure you can do. You want to make sure that any student can get to this, and edit it. So this is kind of weird, but I'm going to go up to the gear icon, and I just want to make sure that these things aren't checked off. Like I don't want to limit it to one response because you might use this form over and over again, and I wanted to let anybody use this at all. Okay. If you want to collect email addresses from them, check on that box, and that way they'll be prompted to put in their school email first. These other ones, edit after submit, so a student could go back and edit it, like if they wanted to make a change on something. I usually don't check that off, at least not for this. See summary charts and texts? Probably not. The other things, presentation, they don't need to progress bar because it's all going to be one page. You don't want to change the order of the questions. And if you want to show a link to submit another response, that might not be a bad idea. You could turn these into quizzes, and we could talk about that later, but I won't do that. So right now I'm just going to save everything. And that is, that's how I went through and created the free response question, or the form to collect information about the free response question. Next short video, I will show you how to get this to your kids. But that's how you create it. Hope this has been helpful.